City of Lake Park. I just want to take a few minutes and welcome you all. With us tonight is our fine candidates. I'll start off over on the far end. That's Ronald Carter. Then we've got Mayor Schindler, Tracy Fountain, Tyler Davis, Mayor Sandler. I'd like to take a moment before we begin and say that our goal here tonight is to hear what our candidates have to say about issues facing our city. This forum will be conducted in a professional manner, and each candidate will be shown respect. There will be no vulgar or abusive language tolerated at all. You will be asked to leave if that happens. There should be no talking in the audience, as this interferes with others' abilities to hear what the candidates have to say. Rude comments toward a candidate or another attendee will not be tolerated either. If at any time you cannot adhere to this format, you will be asked to leave. Now at this time, I ask that you turn your cell phones to silent or turn them off. If you receive an important call, please take it, but wait till you get outside. I'd like to introduce our fine moderator, Tyler Tucker. He's a volunteer from Valdosta State University from the Political Science Department. He will be asking the questions that were drawn from the submitted suggestions. There are a total of 6 questions. Each candidate will answer all 6 questions. The order of the questions will be decided and drawn by myself. Connie Martinez will be acting as our timekeeper. I'm sorry, she's also city clerk here. I'm sorry, we forgot her. Each candidate will have up to 2 minutes to answer each question. At the end of our forum, our candidates may give a closing statement, also limited to 2 minutes. After the closing statements are completed, we will finish the evening with an open floor meet and greet. At that time, everyone is welcome to some refreshments, and the candidates will be available to answer direct questions. Does everyone understand? Or anybody have any questions? Yeah, now would be a good time to turn those off. All right, let's get started.
I am.
Mr. Carter, you'll be the first one up. We'll start on the far end. And we'll start with question number 5.
Awesome. So, Mr. Carter, this is a two-part question. The first part is, what is your personal agenda of issues you want to resolve?
Well, I think one of the most important is how we can grow the city so we have a big enough tax base and revenue to run the city and serve the citizens like they expect to be served.
Yes, sir. And the second part of that question is, how do you plan to accomplish this goal?
All right, we think that we can expand our city limits out to exit, maybe not all the way to exit 2, but out far enough that we can get some farmland where we can have places to have businesses and everything that we can, that will help the city a great deal.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Question number 2.
With all of life's everyday responsibilities, will you be able to devote the amount of time necessary to be an effective official, be impartial to your personal needs, and do what's best for the city as a whole?
Is that for me?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. I think I've actually been doing that for the last 5 years. We have a medical practice over in Madison. Tending to that. Got the home life. I think I'm up to the challenge. I've been doing it. Been working with the city for 12 years, so I think I've got that under control.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Tracy. You have any question number 2?
I'll repeat the question. With all of life's everyday responsibilities, will you be able to devote the amount of time necessary to be an effective official, be impartial to your personal needs, and do what's best for the city as a whole?
I think so. One of the things that I've worked very hard at over the course of my career is to work very hard at a good work-life balance. And because of that, my home challenges have become less and less, and my work challenges have become less and less because I've worked to keep those organized in such a way that I can add those things into it, and I will be an advocate for Lake Park.
Thank you.
Question number 6.
Question number 6. Since January 2015, a proposed development for a Veterans Memorial has been discussed. Due to one obstacle or another, the memorial has not been completed. This is a two-part question, the first part being, what is your opinion on this memorial?
I don't know that very much about it as far as the actual memorial goes and what the exact details are. I moved into the city in September of 2015. I grew up here in Lowndes County. I would not have a problem with the Veterans Memorial if we had the money for it.
Okay. Second part, what plans do you have for its completion?
Try to find some money for it.
Yes, sir. Moving forward.
Mr. Sandlin? Question number 2.
Question number 2. With all of life's everyday responsibilities, will you be able to devote the amount of time necessary to be an effective official, be impartial to your personal needs, and do what's best for the city as a whole?
Yes, I'll be able to do that fine. I'll work with my administration departments and let them run the departments, and I'll be an overseer.
Yes, sir. All right, now we're back on the farther end with you, Mr. Carter.
Question number 2.
Okay, this is our famous one. With all of life's everyday responsibilities, will you be able to devote the amount of time necessary to be an effective official, be impartial to your personal needs, and do what's best for the city as a whole?
I would, I'm retired. I can devote a lot of time to the city, which I already do.
Yes, sir.
Question number 1. For Mr. Sandlin.
What is your number one goal that you hope to accomplish if elected?
My number one goal has always been for to improve our water system. When I became mayor, the first thing we did is we took a good look at our water system and realized that the main meter on the water being pumped out had not been changed since it was installed in 1967. That was 5 years ago. We had that changed out. It was in pretty bad shape. And to know how much water is coming out and to know how much water you're actually selling to the customers, the citizens, to keep an accurate check, very important. Not only that, but we've been pursuing water improvements in the city. It costs a lot of money. We're pursuing grants. We're coming very, very close. I believe that we're going to get those grants real soon, and it's to ensure that that water is fresh. That is my number one main concern.
Question number 4.
Question number 4. As a candidate for the City of Lake Park government, you are displaying an interest in city government and the workings of our city officials. Since January 2018, the council has had 10 regularly scheduled council meetings and 10 work sessions. All of those have been advertised via the city website and posted at City Hall. There have been a number of other meetings as well to address specific issues. How many meetings have you attended since January 2018?
January? Probably very few recently. I can say that I had some medical issues that have been resolved, and so that has been part of the reason that I have not been able to be as involved as I was previously. At the beginning of the year, I was going for a lot of the meetings that were being had for the Veterans Memorial and some of the waterworks as well. but I have not been there recently, I can say that. I've resolved those issues that I've had, and we can move forward with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Question number 5.
So a two-part question. What is your personal issue or your personal agenda of issues you want to resolve?
I got a budget from Tabitha. I'd like to help to go through the budget, help to get us more financially secure. I look at the budget, want to see different things, see where we can cut, where we need to expand, where we need to hopefully get in the black, stay in the black. I'd like to see us establish an emergency fund for issues that we have in the city. And I know it's hard to do right now because things are tight, but I'd like to see us be able to set aside some money, like a lot of us do in our own budgets, that we have, it's a rainy day fund. Something happens, we got the money to come up with it to do what we need to do out on the ready.
Second part of that question is, how do you plan to accomplish this goal?
Looking at the budget, see where we can make some cuts, where we need to make some cuts, if we don't need to make cuts. Basically just looking at the budget and finding where we can get the most money out of what we're collecting from our citizens.
Thank you.
Question number 4.
Question 4. As a candidate for the City of Lake Park government, you are displaying an interest in city government and the workings of our city officials. Since January 2018, the council has had 10 regularly scheduled council meetings and 10 work sessions. All of those have been advertised via the city website and posted at City Hall. There have been a number of other meetings as well to address specific issues. How many meetings have you attended since January 2018?
I've attended approximately 2 to 3 meetings since January 2018.
Yes, sir.
I don't like to try to attend meetings too much when you've got a city council or a mayor that's been elected by the people. I think we need to try to let them do their job. And then if they don't do their job, then I think the citizens need to make a voice and vote.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Starting back. Question number 3.
Mr. Carter. As we know, combating crime requires cooperation between the police and local residents. As a candidate, what do you believe is the responsibility of the mayor and council's position to ensure effectiveness of this cooperation?
But I think we have a chief that can handle this department, and I think we need to let him handle it. And we don't, we've had some complaints, but every time I asked the person, I said, well, did you do it? They said, yes. I said, well, what you worried about?
Question number 6.
Question 6, it's a part of a two-part question. Since January 2015, a proposed development for a Veterans Memorial has been discussed. Due to one obstacle or another, the memorial has not been completed. The first part of the second part question is, what is your opinion on this memorial?
I was probably the first person approached by 2 ladies who thought the Veterans Memorial would be a great tribute to those who sacrificed. Being a veteran of the Navy for 6 years, I concurred and worked diligently with them to make that happen. We were working on a lot of donations. They knew that there was not that much money that could be contributed by the city, but that the city had designated a spot, and that we would help them in any way. I think it's so important for our city to have a Veterans Memorial, to show our support for the veterans, and I think it can make us a shining example in Lattens County. We're not done with it. It's coming. We just need to regroup and make sure that it's something that we can all be proud of. Unfortunately, some interest in the Veterans Memorial differed from others, but it shouldn't stop us. it should not stop us from honoring those that give us our freedoms.
Yes, sir. So I think you have answered part of that second question, but I'm going to ask again if you want to add anything
Fine.
else. What plans do you have for its completion?
Okay, so the plans for the completion obviously are on donations. I do have a flagpole coming back to the
30
city.
seconds.
We do have people who are interested in donating large sums of money. As soon as the council can get past certain difficulties, we'll make it happen. And it will truly be something that this city will be proud of.
Thank you.
Question number 1.
Question number 1. What is your number 1 goal that you hope to accomplish if elected?
My number 1 goal for Lake Park is to get the Lake Park name back out into the larger community as a wonderful place to be and a wonderful place to go and stay. The goal for me would be to increase our revenue base by getting more people down into Lake Park, also bringing more businesses into Lake Park. And when we increase the revenue base, that allows us to use those funds to bring the budget back into the black. We're also able to do things with our infrastructure, which is a huge piece of what needs to be done in Lake Park. Mayor Schindler touched on the waterworks system. We have issues with the streets and the roads that need to be resolved. And for that, we have to have the funds, and we have to bring people here to make that happen.
Thank you.
Question number 2.
Question 2. With all of life's everyday responsibilities, will you be able to devote the amount of time necessary to be an effective official, be impartial to your personal needs, and do what's best for the city as a whole?
My personal life, I'm an outside salesman, so I'm on the road every day, but I'm local. I don't really leave within a few counties of here, so I'm home every day. My wife says I'm OCD about the things I do, so I'm pretty good about managing my time and that kind of thing. I feel like I'm pretty wise with what I do. I'm a pretty early riser, and I'm usually the later one to go to bed, so I feel like I have enough time to devote to it. I have a 2-year-old son, or almost a 2-year-old son, so the last year and a half has been trying to get my feet wet with having a son that young, and learning things with him. But he's starting to get to where he's a lot more vocal, and I don't have to be right there over him all the time. But I feel like I would have enough time. I think I have plenty of time, especially weekends, and I get off fairly early in the afternoons.
Moving along.
Question number 6.
Question 6, 2-part question. Since January 2015, a proposed development for a Veterans Memorial has been discussed. Due to one obstacle or another, the memorial has not been completed. What is your opinion on this memorial?
I have no problem with a Veterans Memorial. I have many people in my family that served in the war. And I have no problem with that if the citizens of the city of Lake Park want the memorial. I don't agree especially with the location, but if they can find the finances to do it, I have no trouble with it.
Yes, sir. And the second part of this question, what plans do you have for its completion?
I'll let the voice of the people have that.
Yes, sir.
Going back to Mr. Carter. Question number 4.
Question 4. As a candidate for the City of Lake Park government, you are displaying an interest in city government and the workings of our city officials. Since January 2018, the council has had 10 regularly scheduled meetings and 10 work sessions. All of those have been advertised via the city website and posted at City Hall. There have been a number of other meetings as well to address specific issues. How many meetings have you attended since January 2018?
Every meeting we've had, plus met with other people that I need for the city, pretty much involved.
Yes, sir. As a candidate for the City of Lake Park government, you are displaying an interest in city government and the workings of our city officials. Since January 2018, the council has had 10 regularly scheduled council meetings and 10 work sessions. All of those have been advertised via the city website and posted at City Hall. There have been a number of other meetings as well to address specific issues. How many meetings have you attended since January 2018?
I believe I was at every single meeting except last month when I had lost my mom and had to travel out of the state for the funeral. But other than that, I believe I was at every single meeting and then some.
Yes, sir.
Question number 6.
Question 6, two-part question. Since January 2015, a proposed development for a Veterans Memorial has been discussed. Due to one obstacle or another, the memorial has not been completed. First part of this two-part question, what is your opinion on this memorial?
I think that the Veterans Memorial is a wonderful idea. I have very many family members who have also been in the military. I have 2 sons that are actually going into the military. And I want to honor the veterans. I also think that it is a wonderful way to bring people into Lake Park, which is my goal, is to bring folks down to Lake Park and let them see just how wonderful this place is.
Yes, ma'am. Second part, what plans do you have for its completion?
One of the reasons I got involved and started coming to the city council meetings in the first place was that I was hearing a lot about what was going on with the Veterans Memorial. And I wanted to know more and hear more for myself. The idea that there was a committee pulled together was, I think, a wonderful idea at some point, and I think that we should pursue having a team of people who are available, who can work on fundraising, who can work on getting plans together, who can work on finalizing those plans, and then start making things happen.
Thank you.
Question number 3.
Question 3. As we know, combating crime requires cooperation between the police and local residents. As a candidate, what do you believe is the responsibility of the mayor and council's position to ensure effectiveness of this cooperation?
I think the mayor and I think as a council, they should try to reach out to the community as much as possible through the 4th of July celebration or the Christmas celebration. I think the police officers do a good job patrolling, and with the school zone here, I think they do a good job helping keep the children safe. I think the council should just encourage the chief and the deputy or the officers to spend as much time as they can reaching out and patrolling.
Yes, sir.
Question 3.
Okay, question 3. As we know, combating crime requires cooperation between the police and local residents. As a candidate, what do you believe is the responsibility of the mayor and council's position to ensure effectiveness of this cooperation?
I believe it's the responsibility of the mayor and city council and the police department, and all departments, to keep the city and the people safe. It is necessary to work with the Lowndes County Police Department, other police departments, for open communication lines.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
About Mr. Carter. Question number 1.
Question 1. What is your number 1 goal that you hope to accomplish if elected?
Well, I would like to see us get the grant where we can complete our water system project. It will give us better flow. We have been working trying to eliminate dead-end pipes and the loop system, maintain more pressure. I'll continue working towards that.
Yes, sir.
Question number 3.
Question 3. As we know, combating crime requires cooperation between the police and local residents. As a candidate, What do you believe is the responsibility of the mayor and council's position to ensure effectiveness of this cooperation?
When I took over as mayor 5 years ago, we had a very ineffective police force. The police chief was terminated at that point. Effectively for 6 months, I was it. I did not want to be police chief, trust me. It's not anything that I ever aspired to do, and having to answer to the county and the state was not an easy task. But we diligently looked for a police chief that could reach out to the community along with the council and the mayor, and we found one. You can look at statistics around Lowndes County and the amount of drugs and pushings into homes and robberies. I think they know not to do it here. And not to say that it's not crime, but when there is crime, I think our police force takes it personally. When churches got broken into, our police chief pursued, even though he wasn't getting the help from the county. He formed a dive team. They found the safe that was stolen. They found the people that were behind it, and they solved the crime. Those people are no longer on the streets. So I think we have a great police force. I think they're out there. I think they're doing their job, and I, for one, feel safe with them out there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Question number 5.
Question 5, two-part question. What is your personal agenda of issues you want to resolve?
So, as I mentioned before, the infrastructure for Lake Park needs some work. It needs a good bit of work. In order to do that, we have to get some revenue in, and our budget has to be balanced in such a way that we actually have the money to spend on those things. It does take money to fix things, unfortunately. So that would be one of my first goals, and my other goal would be to just become more involved with getting more businesses into Lake Park. I don't want to put too many businesses in the area. I think we're a wonderful place, and I don't want too much traffic. However, I would like to see other businesses come in. That would also be another way to generate revenue without having to continue to raise taxes.
How do you plan to accomplish these goals?
Wow. The first thing would be to get my feet wet and see exactly what we have going on, see what kind of money we do have to have. I know that we've already started working on a lot of grants. I would like to become more involved with working with those grants and reaching out to other agencies to see how they can help us. The same thing for our Veterans Memorial. I would like to see what kind of agencies there are that we could work with and grants that we could work with to help us gain the money necessary for that as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Question number 1.
Question 1. What is your number 1 goal that you hope to accomplish if elected?
I actually kept it written down on my notebook here. The things that I was kind of thinking about and kind of running on is working on the budget, paying off debts, and trying to lower the tax burden for the citizens. The reason I kind of got involved in the city was all of the, I guess, hoopla about raising the millage rate and what it was going to do for the taxes and tax base. I know that personally, my tax rate on my house went up substantially, not at the city council or the mayor's fault. The county just went through and reevaluated our home prices. So to have a millage rate go up, even if it is a little bit, it does hurt your wallet if you're on a zero-based budget. So I'd like to be able to see us to get in the black, stay in the black with our budget, build that emergency fund, and be able to keep our tax burden low. The city of Lake Park actually has the second highest millage rate in Lowndes County. The only higher millage rate that's in Lowndes County would be the city of Valdosta. Ours now is 7.3 and some change. Hayhire, to compare, is 4.5. Dasher, they do everything basically on grants, so theirs is basically just what the county's is. I'd like to see ours preferably go down a little bit, and that will be through working on the budget and trying to find money through grants and other things so we can do things in Lake Park and try to lower the tax burden on the people of Lake Park.
Thank you.